recorded. So yeah, welcome everyone. Monday, 24th of January, 10:20. Looking, let's see if we can find some opportunities for this week. This is your weekly outlook. So the dollar, we can quite clearly see the structure that it's making. Very, very bullish, as we can see here. And we are in an area where we can possibly look to come a little bit higher. We are filling in this imbalance here, so that is where you're getting a sudden reaction from. Prices come in, filled it almost perfectly. Hasn't come down here, but it does look fairly healthy. What I mean by healthy is there's no unmitigated candles in here. Okay, there's a little bit of imbalance down here, and obviously there will be liquidity under this low here. However, structure dictates this is the low, this is the high. So not too worried about that getting taken for now, unless we do get a break of structure. But at the moment, it looks like we are accumulating in that area. And if we go into the daily, we are technically bearish on this daily. So what happens in this area here this week is going to be really, really important, because there's a possible redistribution happening, because we are distributing on this daily, and then redistribution will be anything that possibly happens in here. So that's certainly an area to keep an eye on. One or two things is obviously going to happen. Well, one of three things can happen. We can either stay in this range, which would be really, really annoying, really, really frustrating. We can respect the weekly bullish structure and break through all of this and then come back down and carry on up. Or we can show signs of bearishness and respect this structure here and start breaking to the downside. Now, obviously, by doing that, you would create a weekly structure break, which would obviously take a turn for how things are. But we've come into this area here, and we're going to have to wait and see what kind of happens in here. So as far as the daily is concerned, it is still bearish, but we have to make sure we are aware we are in this area where we could react and press higher. So yeah, there's a few different options which could definitely happen. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, as of now, price is bullish on this 4 hour in a daily area. I would anticipate seeing some kind of distribution in this POI. If we get it, obviously we'll see if we can take a sell. If you take a sell based on anything you get in here, then it's definitely worth looking at. So yeah, I mean, extremely bit of a range on the 1 hour, and the 4 hour is yeah, it is bullish in my eyes, pushing into this daily area here. So we kind of need to wait and see what's going to happen with that one, in my opinion. So looking onto euro, again, we can see this weekly extremely bearish price action coming into this imbalance just here. We haven't quite got the feel that we got on the dollar, but you can still see we've come into this area and we are reacting. Now, looking at the daily, realistically, where it's very subjective as to where you regard the daily break. If we go on the line chart, we can see clearly here there's a break on this daily here, and we can also see that we're ranging in this area here. So I personally consider our trading range to be below this low here, and the top of the range to be up here. So there's every likelihood we could push higher. Obviously, pushing higher would mean not respecting what's happening in here, which is the same on with what happened on the dollar. So we will have to keep a close eye on it. As of now, I mean, realistically, we're still in an area where we can accumulate from. We are bearish on this 4 hour, coming into a bit of a sweet spot here in terms of this is an area which could be a point of interest to go higher. However, the reason I wouldn't want to participate in any buys is because this high here did not break above here. We didn't get a break of structure. So, you know, as far as I can see, to me, this is quite bearish. So I'd definitely be looking to see this here get taken out at the very least. We have got this low here, but there's a lot of liquidity that's going to be under here from the daily. As of now, nothing really of interest to me at the moment. We are in an area here on this 1 hour chart, but this is obviously just 4 hour structure still, as you can quite clearly see. Yeah, it's nothing that, hang on, sorry. Yeah, it's nothing that I see panning out at this moment in time. I'm getting a bit of a lag on here, guys, and it's because I've got some people online as well, and there's a bit of internet connection issues, but also let me know if it lags in the chat with good stuff. So yeah, bearish. It's very, very bearish at the moment. Got this liquidity sweep, came up, mitigated, lovely sells from the New York session on Friday. Coming down into here, you know, if you're still in it, you know, definitely go break even, but target this low here. And yeah, see where you go with it, really. GU, you can clearly see, look at a weekly perspective, it's very bearish. We did come into an area where we can distribute. Look at the reaction we've had from this daily candle here. As we can see, it's given us a lovely reaction, and I'm classing this here as our low on the daily. So looking at it from structure, I'd say this is our break of structure on the daily, which hasn't quite closed yet. We've got another 11 hours yet. It's only Monday, so this could just wick below and then go. We don't know. But I am inclined to look for sells on this pair. I mean, as of now, I think I'd like to see price potentially come up to this 4 hour chart candle, and no, 4 hour candle, and potentially give us some kind of reaction. I do like that, as well as we are on the top of this range, you know, we're quite low on the range here. We did take out some liquidity on our way down, as we can see there. In taking that down, we did leave a little bit of imbalance up here. However, when we look at it from a 1 hour perspective, it is still quite bearish. I don't think we're going to come back up to this, just looking at how price action's been acting. You know, this 2 hour candle here made its way up, but yeah, for me, I'm kind of looking in this area here to see if I can get anything. Obviously, if not, we'll wait and see for something. There's nothing really obvious sticking out in terms of the price action. You know, looking at the daily here, obviously when you get a new low, what you can anticipate is accumulation to actually come higher. So don't be surprised if we start seeing something like that, to then get ourselves higher into this area up here to look for a sell. So yeah, I mean, there's potential it can obviously come back up to there, but it's while we're in this range, it's worth just keeping an eye on it. So yeah, I mean, that would be if we're going to get anything now in the interim potentially, but long term you'd want to be looking to try and sell up here. I think I'll probably, reflection, I'll be looking up here for a sell if we can. Obviously, if it doesn't come in, I'll look at time and price where we are London peak session, where we are New York peak session, and see what happens really. But yeah, nothing really in an interest area at the moment. We're kind of just setting ourselves up for whatever we're going to do. USDJPY. Again, for me, this is a bullish pair. We're coming into an area now where we can anticipate accumulation. So I would be looking to take a move higher on this pair, definitely. You know, weekly area there. We've got the daily area here, which is still being, this looks like it's almost just about respected on this area here. We have wicked below, we have created a bit of liquidity, although it looks like if we look at it from the close-up, this low did finish lower. So, you know, very, very bearish on this 4 hour chart. So it's definitely a case of waiting for something possibly to happen, waiting for some kind of break of structure to form. I would definitely want to make sure that we get a break of structure, at least on this 4 hour chart, before I consider some kind of buy but just know we're in an area where we could absolutely look for a turn to go higher. So, you know, as of now, I do see it actually come a little bit lower, looking at structure. But one thing everyone needs to be very, very careful of, if you are looking for sales, is there is so much liquidity building up here. But this liquidity build up here, because there's so many opinions, so many retail traders are getting in on this downtrend at the moment, and it's just taking them down. You know, it really wouldn't surprise me if we sweep this low a little bit more and then really aggressively pull up, because this is kind of flagging down. So the correction, the expansion was kind of this area here, and then we've reacted in this area here to maintain our bearish activity. And we are looking to make a new low, but I would definitely anticipate a break above these highs, and then yeah, to take all these retail traders out. That's personally how I see it playing out. Obviously, we'll wait and see what does happen, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on that. I wouldn't be looking at sells when you're in that area there. There's a lot of liquidity. GJ, looking at it from a daily perspective and a weekly perspective. So did we break above that high? I'm not so sure. So we did look like we kind of respected this structure here. So sales from the daily point perspective is definitely happening. I mean, this was the trade here on the 18th, getting in here for a sell. That would have been a really nice here. I think I did get on 5-minute structure up here somewhere. I did come out of the position. Obviously, it'd be nice to have kept it by now. But you had your break here, and then price is just completely dumping. Okay, there's no turning back on this pair at the moment. It is extremely bearish. You know, as of now, realistically, this 4-hour looks a little bit nicer than the previous 4-hour showed you on that last pair, because what we've actually got, if we just zoom in a little bit, is just a small liquidity break just there. So we have kind of taken out some liquidity, mitigated in orders in here, and in doing so, we have left an unmitigated candle just here. So yeah, something up here would be nice. You know, we're so pushing down. I think targets wise, I'd be kind of looking for some imbalance to get filled up. And realistically, I want to be looking to try and get to these lows here, where there's going to be a lot of liquidity generating. So yeah, definitely looking to get in on that. And other than that, it looks quite good. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that 4-hour. See if we can do anything. I mean, we're still pushing down. I don't think it's really worth getting off an Archie tool up just yet, because it could go a little bit lower before it starts pressing higher. And there's not really any signs of anything happening. And this was looking at the Asian session, and we just continue to fall in London. So it would be nice if New York would come back up, get us in on this move. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this area for sure. I am going to be setting alerts around here, because I actually like this pair. And what I do, I give it an amber card to say I'm going to be watching this pair. So this is me going through my analysis on the week. So far, this is what I like the most from what I've seen so far. Obviously, from a daily range perspective, we are still, you know, this would be the top, this would be the bottom, but the range isn't finished completing yet. So it's about looking to see if we can get in on any move. And I wouldn't just jump in on this. I'd be waiting for redistribution on a smaller time frame. And I do deem it necessary to take the risk, because we can see it a bit clearer here. We took out some liquidity just there. And doing that, that's why this area here for me looks quite nice. GA. So we broke above this high on the weekly, as you can see here. And doing that, we have started to distribute. Although we've not really, I don't know if we have really. I mean, we've tried to distribute. We look like we're kind of respecting this structure here. Without this close down here, you can anticipate more buys. Looking at it from a weekly perspective, maybe we're aiming for this high here. And what we saw in here wasn't distribution, but actually was a liquidity sweep to take out this liquidity in here. and to try and make some effort to come to this candle there, where we can see here it came to where the candle peaked from and then started to react to the upside. And in doing that, maintaining our bullish activity, we can possibly aim for this high as well, where there will be liquidity, because every high and every low has forms of liquidity in. So looking at it from here, you can see here we have got a 4-hour break as well. We were coming in bearish, we came in below this low, we came up, broke structure here. Okay, came back into this candle here. I don't really count this, it's very small. I like bigger candles, so I'm kind of looking at this candle and this candle to do the work for me. This 8-hour candle looks a little bit nicer because it's a bit beefier. I don't really go on small candles. I like the look of the bigger ones. So yeah, pushed up, came back in, mitigated from the 8-hour candle, and the 4-hour candle filled in some balance, and it's just breaking up higher and higher and higher. So definitely looking for buys on this pair with a nice strong pound. Looking at it from where we are now, I mean, realistically, I can't see it getting this low today. We'll wait and see, I guess. But I mean, this isn't really a current trading range because we're not finished our expansion yet. But coming below 50% would certainly mean maybe dropping below here and coming into this 1-hour candle here. So I'd kind of target that there. I'd use that as my external liquidity. So external liquidity is a high, previous high, previous low that's been taken. So we can see there prices come up, made a new high, made a high low. It's now made a higher high, taken out that previous higher high. We can see here, this is our internal liquidity. So we don't really want to be looking at setting any orders off this candle here. This candle here gets my attention more because it isn't really mitigated. There is a little bit of imbalance in there as well. I'd like to see a trade set up within here. Obviously making this low, filling this imbalance in here. It didn't quite come down as low as all this, but this is the candle. This is the 8-hour candle I was telling you about. And if we look at this 8-hour candle here, if I just measure that, you can see there it has come into 50% of that candle. So definitely good enough to carry on in my eyes. I would look for reaccumulation there as well. So GA does look nice. It does look nice. Whether or not I play that today, I just don't know if it will. I'd rather it didn't. I'd rather this happened in the week sometime. Looking at it from a weekly standpoint, this is obviously where it started. I'd like it to come a little bit lower, get the bullish activity, and then we get the low of the week as well, which is obviously what you're looking for when you get your trades. So yeah, keep an eye on that one, definitely. Euro JPY. So price here, bearish. So you've got lower high, lower low. You can quite clearly see in making this lower low, we took out a hell of a lot of liquidity. Whilst it did that, it has given us a kind of a reaction, a distribution, accumulation, sorry. So we accumulated in here, pushed up, and now we've distributed to come lower. So based on the weekly price action here, I would anticipate we carry on our bearish stride. So I'm not really interested in trading this here from here to get a buy, because we distributed on the weekly anyway, right here, on the daily, sorry, here. We did that whilst respecting this big old candle here. And we did that, I'm guessing this 50% of the candle's been covered as well. So yeah, just about massively. So yeah, that's been covered. So I'm not really anticipating a reaction. We might get some kind of rejection from this candle, maybe in this imbalance. But ultimately for me, the target would be coming into this low here and creating another low from a weekly standpoint and carrying on with bearish activity. From where we are now, maybe we get something in here. Maybe in New York, we get something in here. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that. And we'll wait and see what happens with that one, I guess. But price is moving quite fast. So, looking at this price action here, it came up, taken some of this liquidity out. Whilst doing that, we've come into a range, fairly balanced price action, broken out of the area now, which is where this 4-hour candle comes from. So this 4-hour candle took out this liquidity just here. Once that liquidity was taken out, we've broken a little bit lower, created some more structure coming down even lower. So again, from looking at here, you could argue this could be your external liquidity. And we'll measure this range. Anything from 50% and beyond, which is in here. So this here could be our internal liquidity, is what we're targeting to be taken out. So I'll target this area to be taken, and a reaction from this 4-hour area here. If we can get something in there, then great. Another pair to keep an eye on for you guys, definitely. USD CAD. I mean, I don't trade USD CAD, but there were some decent opportunities happening. Again, from a weekly, we're in an area where we could accumulate and could definitely move higher. And as you can see on this daily here, we have closed above. So one or two things are going to happen. We're either going to come into here, fall lower, or we are going to pump up there. Not really a pair of interest to me at the moment. I mean, as of now, maybe you get something back down from there in the manner that it is just popping. But I'm not really interested in looking at this pair at the moment. Maybe that candle looks quite nice, but yeah, I'm not. The US Euro USD pairs at the moment just aren't really hitting obvious confirmations for me at the moment. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on it, but yeah, nothing for me there. Get rid of that alarm. Gone. So yeah, gold, we've come into a bit of a range lately. We've made a high on this monthly and we have started to distribute to break down a little bit lower. Looking at it from a weekly perspective, you can see here a bit more detail of what's gone on. We've come in mitigating as candles. One thing you need to be very wary of with gold is that liquidity sweeps all the time. So your entry can often be triggered in, taken out because it's the liquidity sweep, taken you out and then gone in its move. So that's why I don't really trade a lot of gold. As of now, from where we are on the weekly perspective, I would anticipate we are going to just carry on a little bit higher and take out this high here, use that as our target, because what we can kind of see is that happening. Okay, we've made our move down here. The buys have happened in here. From a daily perspective now, I think really my eyes would be on this candle here. See if we can get in there in New York. Or tomorrow in London or something. We've taken out liquidity in here. Whilst doing that as well, what you clearly see is that you've mitigated into this candle here, filled in some imbalance. So there's not really leaving many stones unturned on this pair. This liquidity has been taken out before it went up on its way, as you can see there. Liquidity grab, and this liquidity here has been taken out on its way as well. So when you look at it from this perspective now on the daily, liquidity grab, go. Liquidity grab, go. Liquidity grab, go. Now it's gone. Are we going to get a mitigation play from in here to carry it a little bit higher? So that looks really nice to me, in my opinion, and it does look like we are starting to potentially break down now. This daily candle would be the one I'll keep because it is a FU candle. It has swept liquidity to the downside. Definitely an area of interest to me. Hopefully we can get a nice flag pattern down. The range looks like it's now reversing, so that does give me confidence to measure a Fibonacci, put a Fibonacci tool in there, and the daily area doesn't quite fall into it, but nonetheless, this could be where the liquidity sweep comes into this area, maybe fills in a little bit of this imbalance in here, and then makes our move up. So I'm 100% going to keep an eye on that pair, definitely. definitely keep an eye on that. So guys, as far as Forex goes, that's really it. I mean, looking on the indices, looking for some strong moves again. I mean, all indices you can see are clearly dumping hard at the moment. Weekly structure has not been respected in the slightest on US 30. As you can see here, we have got a break. So now we've got a break. What can we anticipate? We can anticipate potential accumulation. As of now, we are not seeing it. So you can't help but think this is just going to carry on dumping, but we'll have to look into this more in New York session, definitely. Weekly structure broken. Again, that structure has not been respected. So what we do know with indices, sorry guys, I'm just lagging a bit again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, you guys there, put some numbers in the chat if you can still see the screen for me, guys, because I am lagging a bit. Yeah, you're all there. You're all there. Cool. So yeah, looking at S&P as well. Just so bearish. So bearish. You know, I think realistically, there's going to be some exciting buys happen at some point because there is going to be a retracement into these areas here. So we'll wait and see what happens. You know, from a monthly standpoint, the monthly times has been broken here. So yeah, maybe this is the move that takes us a little bit lower, fill in some of these areas here, and then pushes higher. So we'll see where we are in New York on those ones. I mean, as of now on US 30, if you wanted to get in a trade now, I wouldn't advise getting on a trade in US 30 until New York session personally. You know, my area would be looking here, see if you can get on some fast sells. Yeah, whether or not that happens. This candle here as well. They're pretty much the same pairs. You know, they do the same thing. They work the same way. I prefer US 30 to the other two. Yeah. And crypto, Bitcoin. Again, guys, for me, so bearish. I mean, we've fallen into this area now, haven't we? Fallen into this area. I mean, this is an interesting area now. Interesting area now. I still think they're coming for this liquidity. I will definitely buy if we can accumulate and push higher, but you know, I know what my risk is and I know what I'm going to do with that. For me, because I called this here, like everyone was looking at setting, everyone wanted to set buys here, and I said no, wait, see what happens here, because this is internal liquidity, and this is the area, but I'm not going to set immediate buys in here because of this liquidity laying down here. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on. This could just carry on going. Well, you got to remember, guys, Bitcoin is a retail. The amount of retail traders in on this at the moment, the amount of people that don't have a clue and they're just buying and holding because they think they're going to become millionaires off it, and the banks will not necessarily allow that to happen because it's just, you know, something can go up in value, of course, but these guys here that bought Bitcoin for £1,000 in 2013, 2014, whatever, and now millionaires. Well, yeah, of course, but you're never going to get Bitcoin for the price of $117 as of now, are you? That's the thing. So yeah, I have got some friends that I know are looking on this area here to buy, potentially targeting a new high, but we've got 7 days left on this monthly candle here. Wait and see what happens until the end of the month. The reason I say that is because if it closes below there, okay, you're going to get on some buys. So if this closes, and this is going into our strategy, smart money concepts, closes below here, come into this imbalance, and then suddenly we are bearish. And if it goes to zero, well, who knows what the future holds? Who knows what the future holds? But it has crashed. It is crashing. So yeah, I'm certainly not looking to get anything yet. I'm looking to wait, see if I can get some accumulation. I mean, look at that. You would have, how many people have bought in there because, yeah, I like that. It's very, very bearish. Yeah, I mean, this has been respected a bit more. We could react from there. Again, I'm personally going to wait. It's not going to fly off without you, don't worry. I'm going to wait 7 days, just wait to the end of the month, and then look to get in. But yeah, I mean, as of now, this is sales. Sales, what? Why would you buy from this? So bearish. Why would anyone want to buy? Look at it. You know, just get rid of all the tools. You don't need anything to see. This is bearish. Where are you looking? The way we look at Forex, it's the same. It's the same charts. Liquidity taken. Unmitigated candle. 4 hour. Sell. Targets. Liquidity. Do you know what I mean? It's so obvious. So obvious. Wait and see what happens with it. What's going on there? Yeah, there we go. So guys, really that's all I've got time for on this weekly outlook, but they're the pairs I'm kind of looking at for reactions in the next couple of days. If you want to note them down, keep an eye on the index and futures as well. Obviously, we're looking at Japanese pair at the moment with these Japanese pairs at the moment, so it would be worth obviously looking to see where we are on these candles in these areas, so I'll make sure they're playing their part. You know, GA looks quite nice in this 1 hour area here, but we have got to stop and start turning around at some point. Whether we do or not, we'll obviously wait and see and gauge it from there. So yeah, guys, if you need anything, let us know. I am available on the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, get in the Facebook group. I will accept you as a member. It's completely free to join. So obviously, I hope everyone has a great start to the week. I hope everyone has a great Monday, a great trading day, a great day at work, whatever you are doing. I hope you enjoy it, and I will speak to you guys soon. Thank you.